Hey everyone, Corrie here, coming in to do the forecast reading for the Libra signs for 2024. Please remember, this does not replace any medical, psychological advice that you have been given. This is to be taken as entertainment only. It is a collective reading. It is based on the universal energy of all that is. And of course, as a clairvoyant, as a psychic medium, a trance channel, and all of those fabulous things, and a past life healer, blah, 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 then all of these things are energies that I am existing in every day. If something moves, I feel it. If something shifts, I feel it. If there's a storm coming, I usually got a heads up. I can usually see beyond of what is going on. And so that's why it's hard to take sides in anything. The reason why I'm mentioning this part of it is that I feel like for my Libra energy, your sense of your intuitive self is coming online big time right now. And that ability to be able to trust thyself in making the choices and decisions in your life are going to be important going into 2024. And so Libra, you are like my little under my wings sign. I have a dad who's a Libra. I'm an Aries. So I think my sister directly across my the sister energy to Aries is Libra. I have a really soft spot for the Libra energy, and I feel like sometimes that heaviness or that boldness of Aries, it just feels so nice to be able to step into the energy of Libra. And Libra has such a, a, a softness to it, such a compassionate side to it. And it can be so creative and so artistic. So if you're one of those Libras that you have a strong sense of your Libra energy, or if you've been constantly being told that, oh, you're not productive, you're being slow, you're being lazy, you need to do more, you have to really truly know that for most Libras, you have to trust you work from that creative sense of self, but you can only do things when the energy is right. So it is important to know your energy. It's important to get to know you. And I mean the real you. So take the whole trip around into that whole Libra energy. So find out your natal chart, do all of the journey through to be able to recognize the old brain self that is always trying to keep you safe. That's the ego self, the one that tries to keep you into the identity and into all that the persona of what you've created to be who you are. And then the journey all the way around to break up with self and to abandon some of the old beliefs and old thoughts, such as, it's lazy to sit down and do nothing. Like, you shouldn't be resting. You always should be doing something. You should be go, go, go. If you're go, 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 then you're accomplishing something. And I feel like for my Libra energy, that's just so not really true. I feel like for some of you, you really have to really go into you got to be in the peaks and the peaks and the valleys of the energy. And that this is the year to start really recognizing that the importance of that and how much more productive you will be. It's not about trading off your time. It's not about, having to be by the clock. It is about saying, do I have the energy for that? And that includes socializing. That includes people in your life. Sometimes you just don't have the energy for specific people. Sometimes you just find yourself telling little white lies because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. So you just say, oh, I got something else happening, but you really don't. And so learning to be honest and learning to be honest with yourself will help you learn how to be honest with others and not to fear hurting that's going to hurt somebody else's feelings, because doing the things when you don't have the energy hurts you more than it hurts, and just to please somebody else is hurting you more than it would hurt them to say, I just don't have the energy right now. I'm not up for this. I'm not in the mood for this. And it's taken me almost all afternoon to be able to get this message out because you weren't in the mood. It took a lot of energy. I'm dragging myself in here today to do this, is what it felt like. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, you got to do this now. It is now or never. And so it is also a year to look at procrastination. And the reason why you might procrastinate, it is a trauma response. It comes with a little bit of fear sometimes. The other reason is because you give so much energy to the other areas where you don't really have the energy for, but you keep doing and doing. So then the things that are important that need to be done, they don't get done because then you don't have the energy. But those things are the things in your life that matter for you, and it's important to you, and it's important to your well-being, to your future, to, living not in a state of being panicked and worried about things, that there is areas of your life that need to be dealt with. And so do them when you have your energy. So when in the day is your prime time? When do you have that? When do you have those energy bursts? Then when you get to know you, you will know when you have those energy boosts. You'll know when you have that burst of energy, when you feel inspired. And sometimes when we're doing nothing, or when we do things that are not work things, is that we get that sense of our creative juices come online. You get that inspiration, you'll feel inspired. And something will just appear. And then later you will create it into something. It'll be jet fuel for the future. But first you have to restore that jet fuel. You have to get that energy within yourself. Now I am using several decks of cards today, and I'm using my Everyday Goddess Oracle cards as one of the decks, and these are available on my website. I'm also using Radley Valentine's, which I've been using for almost every single one of these energy readings. So I'm using the Angel Wisdom by Radley, and then of course I'm just using the, believe it or not, this is like a beginner, this is called like a beginner deck. I don't know who makes this, but this is the Tarot, and see how swollen and big this deck is. It's because it got soaking wet and they got this big, and then I had to flatten them underneath a lot of heavy things for a very long time. I've been using these cards forever, and they're still my favorite deck. So we have a bond. And so not everything in your life has to, you don't have to keep getting new things in your life. If you find something you like, it's okay to hold on to it. I don't know who that message is for. So I am doing a shift over to another camera so I can show you the cards also as we go, Libra, for my Libras. Now, if you are a full Libra, if you're Libra sun, Libra moon, if you're like Libra kind of everywhere, if you have a lot of Libra in your sign, I feel like this is the year that you really have to turn your joy on. You have to turn your happiness on. You got to turn whatever is pessimistic, whatever is negative in your life, you got to start turning it around this year, which means it requires you to be a part of this. It's not just, the world's not going to do it for you if you're being a negative Nelly. It's just not going to happen. So we have Master Manipulator, which is Mavis. She is not a bad card. And a lot of people think, oh, why did I get the Master Manipulator? It's that Master Manipulator Mavis is that this card has no problem calling you up and out when you are stuck in your head. When you tell yourself, oh, I'm so tired. I never, I never get a break. Everyone needs me. And it's just like, no, you make yourself too available. You don't know how to say no. So, you're telling yourself this story so that you can continue to victimize yourself and do the things that you want to do. That feeds the shadow story, that feeds your darkness, that doesn't feed your truth. And I'm like, oh, look, a lotto ticket is in here. Okay, Libras, I'm telling you, this lotto ticket was in here for a reason. This might be your year for some good luck coming in. You got to raise the vibration. You need to get that mood up. You need to be in that state of believing in yourself. You need to be in the positive energy. To my dad, get your freaking lotto tickets, because I'm telling you, I believe this may be a year that some of my Libras may find themselves in the flow of great abundance. Now, she also has that bleeding heart. She's holding our hearts in her hand. And so she may be that healer. So you may find yourself being that healer who just wants to give and give. Now pay attention to where Chiron may be in your chart this year, where there may be, Chiron may be an influence. The healer, the unhealed healer for Libra. You are the sister to the Aries. And so Aries has had Chiron in the chart for since 2018. And it has been a journey of healing the healer. And for you this year, this is your year. It's like it is bouncing over to you. And it is the year for you to do the healing work that you need to do to take a stand. I feel like if you have Saturn, if your Saturn is in Libra, this is also a good year for working with that energy as well. Your North Node also, pay attention to that energy. I'm not an astrologer. I work with some astrology, but I read the energy. And just knowing that not everything in life is going to be sunshine, rainbow, and butterflies. So you can also be and that pretending to be happy, that over positive. So that toxic positivity. It's like, oh yeah, but I only see the good side of things. I don't see the bad side of things. No, I don't want to look at that. No, you're not willing to look at the areas where you need to look at. So this is where the pleaser, the fixer, that sense of just, the toxicity of positive toxicity is coming in. And this is where it's like, no, you can fool yourself, but you're often not fooling others. And so you're not even fooling your true self, and your true self is going to be calling you up and out and just says, the frustration you feel when you say to yourself, well, no one else does anything, or, why am I the only one? Why does, the pity, the poor little sad little stories that come up when we get ourselves trapped. And so there's this eruption. It just feels like this volcano. So what's been suppressed needs to come out, needs to come up and out, so that you're not fooling yourself. You're not doing the things that are not for you this year. Got to get out of your head. So not everything can be positive, sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies. Reality is not always pretty, but it contains some powerful truths. This year is bringing powerful truth for you. This is the year to really look at things and how life is influencing you. This is Mavis, and she's always here to remind us that, that only you, that to remind you that the only one out to get us is our own mind. The only one out to get us is our own mind. When retrograde appears, the false appears as real. And so when I wrote that, it's not that all retrograde is like, it feels like that slowing down of energy. And so you may be telling yourself that you need to go, 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 but that's not true. So the false appears as real. Oh, I need to be here. I need to be. No, you don't need to be always there. Somebody else can do it. Not every day is going to be sunshine. There is other people to do the work. You do not have to be everywhere. You don't have to say yes to everything. And so this is the year of of great reckoning for you. It is a release of those old energies, because your sweetness, your soft spot, your kindness kind of turns sour, and it turns sour towards you more than it turns sour towards another. And so she's got the courage. This card has the courage to stand up and willing to be the bad guy of the deck to do the right things. And that's the evolution of our ego. The evolution of the ego is to go from feeding the old, returning to the old patterns, to being willing to say, no, that's not it. That's not true. That's not who I am. And walk all the way around to do the right things for the right reasons. And I just remember this beautiful client that I had who was that. She just had that courage. She just had that strength to just, I'm willing to be the bad guy. I'm willing to be the one that's not liked, because just to do the right things, just for the right reasons, and not to just make everyone happy, not to please everyone. I'm willing to look at the crappy stuff. I'm willing to look at the hard things. I'm willing to listen to the hard conversations, because behind all of that is a new truth. Behind all of that is where we start to step into acknowledging our own spirit and being connected to our own soul. And so this brings us into that soul connection, just knowing that we are at peace when we know we're doing the right things for the right reasons, even if not everyone agrees with it. But it's right for us. And Libra, this is the year for you to kind of incorporate a little bit of the Aries, like reach into that Aries energy to pull into being, a new kind of leader, to look at things in a new way, because this is a year of beautiful transformation for you. This is where the old is burning away. and she's sitting in her emotions for a reason, because she is looking at these things. She recognizes that the world is here, everything is within reach, and that universal energy, it just is, everything is happening, everything is moving. Even if you keep saying that you don't like change, change is happening with or without you. Change is still happening. Even if you look the same way as you did 30 years ago, and you're like, oh, I don't like to change my clothes. Well, along the way, everything has changed, and you've changed, and the one wearing the clothes has changed. You might not have changed the style of the clothes, but the look has changed. Even if you thought the look hasn't changed, the look has changed because it's not the same person wearing the clothes. So things have changed. And so the image of what you're telling yourself is a trapped story. It's a story of entrapment. And there is a rock here. What does this rock represent? It represents the other part of universal energy. It represents that of God, source, creator. And sometimes we got to step up and into that higher consciousness. We have to get up and above that which is drowning us, that which holds us, that which keeps us, and just allowing the energy to move us, allowing us to be moved by the energy, allowing life to just take you on these new journeys. And so this sense of that the universal energy, and so greater consciousness, is that, life is going to move you even though you're stuck. So even though you're in one story, or even though you just get caught in a story, the emotions are still flooding by. It's just what we capture, is what we hold on to. Now she's got what looks like sleeves, but is this sleeves or is this wings? What is that? Is it possible that it's her wings that are trying to help her rise, help her lift up and out? She's in a place of, is she in a place of safety, or is she in the middle between, the middle of her stories? Is this between heaven, our personal hell, and our personal heaven, and not knowing exactly where to go? But this is a year where we start to create our heaven on earth by choosing to observe our own actions, your own behaviors. Find the voice of communication, the heart, the healing of the heart, healing the stories, looking at being, bridging things together. The bridge is such a powerful piece of all of us, and going from the lower energy, crossing the bridge, being on the bridge to the heart, into the higher energy, connecting to the higher self, and just asking yourself, how's this serving me? And why am I keep doing the things that are not serving me? So I do feel like you will be making some shifts, some changes. She is looking in. And so there's a lot of empowerment in this for you this year, for my Libras, a lot of empowerment. Let's see, attachments. Here's a bolder picture of that same universal energy, right? Here's the world, here's the universe, and now it's up close. And so when life, and here's the same green, here's the green that is here. See the theme that is happening. Here's the green heart, we're at the heart. And here's our bee. And the bee defies all odds, right? The bee can defy all odds. It's too fat to fly, but yet it can fly. The wings can carry it. And so just when we think something is not going to happen, the bee is also a part of that universal energy. It's a part of the magic, the mystical magic of Earth, and how the bee has such an intricate part that it plays, and how it works in working with the golden elixir. And that is honey. And honey is medicine. Honey is a sweetener. It's just such the teamwork, the joining together. So this is the year that you connect to spirits, that is the time that you connect to your intuition, that you start working with your soul self, that you start working with aspects and parts of yourself you have not yet worked with, not being so attached to that version of yourself that you hold on to, those claim to fames, we call it, identities that we have that we hold on to. This is just who I am. Oh, I'm a Libra, so this is just what I'm like. No, you need to look at every other aspect of your natal chart to know more about yourself. That's where the sun was when you're born. That's where your ego exists, is in the Libra sign. It's here for you to evolve it. Just like the sun rises and the sun sets, it's the same thing. You have to sometimes you have to let pieces of who you are set, let it go down, let it go down behind the mountains, let it go, let it get lost for a while. Let yourself get lost in the not in the unknowing, in not knowing who you are, so that you can find your truth, so that we can do the heart-centered healing, so that you can evolve, so that you can gain clarity on who you are. Because when you know who you are, you will know who you are not. And when you know who you are not, you're not so easily influenced by being guilted and shamed into doing things that you don't really want to do. You'll be able to stand your ground. You'll be able to say, no, that's not me. That's not who I am. I know who I am. And these are key elements of this coming year for my Libra energy. Oh, there's just so much, but there's just so much in movement here. I'm like, I feel like some of you might want to duck and hide, and some will. Not everybody's going to be ready for this journey. And that's okay. There'll be another day, there'll be another time. But there is some of you that are just here now. The heart is guiding you and crossing the next bridge, and from the voice, from communicating and getting to that seat of the soul, and getting into that area of where the God eye, through the God eye, through the Godhead. So through a higher level of consciousness, through that higher self, I just know this is not working, and I just have to make that change. I just have to do this. Finding that voice. See, here's the final validation to this. And this is your soul connection. This is Vedoma. And Vedoma is speaking to you today. And see here now, this now becomes her future. This becomes her crystal ball. And so as this crystal ball now brings you clarity, that crystal ball exists in us. It exists in getting to know ourselves, creating the vision, knowing the effort that it takes to put the work in. But something is calling you, and it's really truly coming at a soul level, that you're being called up and into a new phase, a new journey. I just feel like it's like, even if you're a senior and you're in your 70s, you're in your 80s, it just feels like this is your next wake up. This is your next transformation. This is when life pivots and turns for you again. So if you've been in the lull, if you've been in the lower energy, if you've been struggling through something, it says this is going to be the year that you start to feel that rise again. You got that teeter-tottering energy going on, and you are rising up again, rising up and into that energy. And you're also being influenced by that Aries energy somehow. But the healer, look at where the Chiron could possibly be within that chart, because so we have all of the energy centers. If you've not done any chakra healing or anything like that, I suggest this be the year that you do start to really look at doing some chakra balancing, chakra alignment, healing, doing some past life healing as well. There is some past life influence. So the past life could be also in this lifetime, but it's, where and who is that person that may have been the bully that you didn't even recognize was a bully, because you were too busy pleasing. You didn't even notice they were a bully. You were just being too nice, that you couldn't see that someone was not very, being very emotionally kind to you in some ways. And so at the root, ancestral healing, the sacral, I just feel like it comes all the way into the sacral, where those emotions lay, where we carry the guilt, where we carry shame. Just clearing that energy, coming all the way up into the solar plex. And as I always say, you've got to trust your own free will. Nobody should be able to, no one overrides that. No one creates your emotions, but you're the one who brings that emotion online. And so trusting your own free will and strengthening this sense of a will, and finding the balance between your will and the divine will, and the will of others, and how the will of others have influenced you in so many ways when it doesn't really serve you. So stomach issues this year as well. You may notice, rumbling bellies, some having to make some dietary changes, that protective weight that you have put on the hips and the waist and the belly area. That defensiveness, the hormones, the protection, that energy is speaking to you. And not saying that you all got to lose all this weight. It's not about going on a diet. It's about looking at why we've had to be in such a defensive and protective mode. And this is the year to rise. So we need to, acknowledge those things so you can release the stories. And when you release the stories, you release the pressure. And yeah, I just feel like you're just putting your fancy shoes on. You're going somewhere fancy this year. So there is places waiting for you to arrive. And so you do have some special occasions this year. You have some things that are going to be there for Libras to celebrate. There's some big celebrations coming in for the Libra energy. And I'm like, I look forward to being able to see transformation again. It's such a year of transformation for you, such a year of transformation, and see just a significant experience that brings about change. Like it just is. I feel like you're releasing. So old systems, old beliefs, everything is leaving. It is going to be that year of transformation for you and standing up for yourself. So you just can't make this up. It's you know, standing up for yourself. And sometimes we are our own enemy and our own bully. So sometimes you need to stand up to yourself. I'll move these over. And then we have the Chariot. And so the Chariot is just, you know, those rewards that are coming from all those years of hard work, that sense of holding on, that sense of doing the right thing, trying to be. And there's a difference between pride and not letting go and doing the right things for the right reasons, because we don't have the same pressures as when we have the pride and we just refuse to let go. It's a different kind of feeling. And yeah, there's an inward journey. There's a real inward journey, and this is not the time to take action. What I mean by this is that when you go inward, you're going to know when you have the energy and when you don't have the energy, and learning to trust that this is not my time, this is not when I need to go, it's not what I need to do. And I'm just pulling this card back up for a minute. And see, intuition, that's exactly as we spoke of as we came in. And so what is your true heart's desire? And as you can see, this flowing of this beautiful blue energy, and everything is here. This is, you know, so much of the universe. She's holding everything, and she's got the apple. She's holding the apple and the seeds. And so the seeds for the next tree is in the apple, right? And so inside the apple is seeds. And those seeds, what seeds are you going to be ready to plant? And sometimes you have to get to the point of having the fruits of the labor and then taking the seeds and replanting and then waiting again. And so there is a gestation time, there is a preparation time that comes in the wait, in the pause of waiting for seeds. So you'll have moments that you've planted seeds years ago, and those seeds will be blossoming now, and you'll be able to take advantage. Other things that you're like, I want this now, but nothing is making it work out. It's not that it's bad luck. It's not that it's anything negative, is that it needs time. And so there is things in your life that will need time, and you will see the changes that are taking place. And I feel like for some of you, that's in relationships. If you've been, you know, holding on, just like, why isn't this happening? Why are we not getting there? And it is in balance. And when all things come together, all things will work out in such a way. But see, we have so much of timing that's here. And the hourglass represents that of our lives, right? And so, you know, these are your years, these are your times. And I just got days of our lives. I don't know who here got that mother or grandmother who would never miss days of our lives. I just heard the days of our lives soap opera theme just play in my head so quickly. I feel like this is very personal, but one of you has this, and I just feel like it was a mother who in the 80s wore those big glasses with the bottom, with the rims on the bottom, with the earpieces on the bottom low down, and they were big round glasses. And I just see her sitting there, like, no matter where she was, no matter what she was doing, that was the time she took for herself to watch that days of her lives, to watch her soap operas, to watch those things. And it's like she knew that was a well-deserved time, and I don't care what anyone thinks, I don't care what anyone else is doing. She would stop everything to do it. She had it right. She had it figured out. That's exactly as life should be, is that you got to take the pause when you feel it. It's time. There's nothing wrong with taking time out to do something for yourself, Libra. Make sure you do it this year. Make sure you pay attention. Make sure you take care of your health. Like I said, stomach issues coming up around me. I have some stomach issues. Take care of those stomach issues. Some may be dealing with the health issues as well. But have a lot of compassion for yourself. See great success and validating this. I have the King of Pentacles coming in here, and I just feel like it's that sense of just, you know, just interesting. What do I do with this money? What do I do with this success? What do I do with this energy? And to be able to really truly think through before you just jump into action. Don't just waste the things that are coming into you. Take the time to really embrace them, embody it, enjoy it, and yeah. So for my for my Libras, this is, I just feel like you're just got this happening. It's the Midas touch can be there, or you have someone in your life that has that Midas touch that's there to support you, to help you. Either way, you are surrounded by it this year. This can be a great year, but you got to trust that intuition. Don't say yes, don't jump, don't run away from things that you just know in your heart to do, because if you go against your intuition, you may find yourself on the losing end and not on the gaining end, and you may be doing catch up all year. So trust yourself this year. I send you much love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. If you want to purchase any of my work, go to CorrieThorne.com. If you would like to leave a donation or a tip, if you would like to donate to this work that I put out, these channel messages, because of course don't get paid for this stuff, there is the PayPal link in the comment section below where you can make that donation if you so choose. Up to you. Please subscribe though. If you're watching these videos and you love them, please subscribe. And also please hit the like button if you like these videos. A lot of people watch, but they don't hit the like button. You do have to be signed in to, I think you have to be signed in to hit the like button, but that's easy peasy. Just sign in. Send you much love. Have a beautiful year, and I will talk with you soon. Bye-bye.